Good afternoon, everybody. I tell you what, and we got into this a little bit yesterday about are they gonna, are they not?
Oh, bro.
Can they, can't they? I don't think they can. They can. And, I've and I'll tell you what this is on the other side, but I've come up with a coping mechanism for myself. A way I'm going to look at the Warriors today and maybe from this day forward that will probably lessen the sensitivity on the outside world and the negativity on the inside world. But since we got about 5 minutes before we're going to take our first break, let me start out with a sincere. Let me tell you what lead we cannot bury from last night's game. Klay Thompson played a back-to-back. He hadn't played a back-to-back since 2019. That's almost 4 years ago. Klay Thompson, all right, I don't care. This is the difference between a guy's game and a guy. I mean, just good for Klay Thompson because that's basically the last step. He played a back-to-back last night for the first time since the regular season of 2018-2019. And you know what? He looked pretty good. 7 for 14, I think he was, and So I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, no. So I'll take it from this instance. Technically, you can say he's back in regard to having no limitations in when the games are, and there not going to be any back-to-backs in the playoffs. That bodes well, but again, Stoney, I told you earlier late last month, I said when I got the stat that Klay had played the most minutes in the finals of any Warrior, it's like all that got lost in all that we cared about just as basketball fans, the ball going in, and I get it. But that was a big deal. He was out there, and I don't think he talked about it enough after. But Klay Thompson, to me, is not he's not on my top 5 concerns moving forward. He's just not.
Well, give me your top 3. Just give me your top 3, just for kids.
And tell me if I'm being redundant. Steph Curry's injury 1.
Okay.
Defense 2.
Okay.
And 3, defense. Can I do it? And I mean,
yeah, sure.
We got Bob coming up at 1 o'clock on the executive show.
Thank you for teasing that. You're right.
And the Warriors have just one nugget about Klay Stanley. I wish they would have had 5 more back-to-backs. They only got 2 more. So those, if everything goes well, he'll be able to participate in those. But, I mean, again, it just showed itself last night. We were on the vine, but it seems like when you play this version of the Warriors, it's pretty good that the opposing team's going to get 120 to 130.
So I'm going to, nobody wants me to act like nobody likes when I speak for Warrior fans, right? Mm-hmm. So I think one thing I'm going to try to do today, maybe I don't know how long I'm going to last. I'm going to try to pretend I am a Warrior fan.
All right.
So I'm going to start talking about the Warriors as if I'm a fan, but I still have the same concerns.
All right.
So one of the things I've noticed is and one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the Warriors so much more than players. Because who cares who's playing well and who's not playing well and who helped them win last night and who had a bad shooting night 3 nights ago? I'm focusing on the Golden State Warriors, the team. And the question now becomes for me, if I'm a Warrior fan, let's talk about the defense. And how can we make this defense better? Draymond obviously talked about it a lot last night. We're going to play that sound. But obviously they're not going to be the Pistons of the late 80s. And that's just the way it is. And they don't, and you're right, we're in a different age of the NBA. but they got to get a little bit better.
Yep.
They got to tight. I think maybe a little more than a little bit better. But the defense, can they become a championship defense? That's the first question I have about the Golden State Warriors as we embark on the show. 888-957-9570 is the number if you want to jump into the conversation. The other thing I want to get into is the trade deadline, which is last week. And I think we've got to start acknowledging, though, that the trade deadline has changed everything.